Sports Talk Show. Your host is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. We got a lot going on today. We're going to have a wonderful show for you. Definitely glad that you can be with us today. And in fact, if you want to dime in, 516-418-5572, 516-418-5572. That's the number. I'm Alan. We don't bite. Feel free to come on in. So welcome to the Alford Sports Talk Show. We're going to have a wonderful show for you. But before we get started, let's go ahead and thank one of our outstanding sponsors. Go ahead and thank Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Feel free to visit my great friend Chef G's right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. Feel free to visit Chef G's right here at FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. All of the great music you're going to hear tonight is by Sam Scola Songs. And in fact, we have another great song for you by Sam Scola Songs. That is the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song. We're going to play that for you right now. Let's go.
Comes in four varieties. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce.
Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Definitely don't forget to visit Chef G's right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, visit him at FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Don't forget that great sauce, folks. Let's go. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring on an outstanding caller here. Let's do that here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. All right. Hey, how you doing?
Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome. Thank you. How you been? Oh, no problem. Yeah, that's it. He's a big fan.
Yeah. Well, it's a sad day in the hockey world as we lost not one but two from the same family, the Gordeau brothers.
Yes, definitely. Rest in peace.
And you make it matters even worse. I mean, now the report where they were coming to New Jersey, like, well, wait a minute, they're from Columbus, like, what are they doing here? They're on New Jersey, but they were attending their sister's wedding up in way down in South Jersey, which is near the Pennsylvania border, and now this. I mean, that's a shame. I mean, that is a real tragedy. You're down here for a joyous occasion, and it's a tragedy. Not just for the hockey world, but
No, you're absolutely right. It is a shame. It really truly is a shame. It's just that one of these things that just unfortunately happened, and it's really a tragic event. You like you said, you're going to a joyous occasion.
It is a shame,
and you don't know what can end up happening.
It really truly is a shame. It's just that one of these things that just unfortunately happened,
Oh,
and it's really a tragic event.
yeah,
Like I
rest
said,
in
you're going to a
peace
joyous
for
occasion.
sure.
It is a shame, and
You know that's why you can't drive. You can't be driving drunk, folks. It's a serious thing. It really is.
And
yeah.
Yeah, it's just even if you're tipsy, you might be worse off than you think. So just don't do it. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's no reason for you to drive while intoxicated. Yeah, it's sad. It really is.
It is.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Let's say a moment of silence for the tragic loss. Yeah, it's sad. It really is.
Absolutely. There's no excuse for that kind of stupidity.
No, you got Uber, you got Lyft. It's very convenient now for you to get a
really
ride.
event.
It is.
For sure.
It's very convenient.
And that's why you
You still got to be careful out there, though, folks.
driving drunk, folks.
It's not everybody. It's just unfortunately just
Yes.
so. There's always bad apples in every bunch.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
even if you're tipsy, you might be.
But
worse
yeah,
off than you
on a
think, so just
more
don't do it.
positive note,
Uber, there's Lyft,
what do you think about your Jets now that the final
there's
cuts
no
have been
reason for
made?
you to drive while intoxicated.
And yet you decide to be stupid and take two lives away.
Yeah, it's sad. It really is.
It is.
Yeah, so sad.
Yeah.
Let's say a moment of silence for.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
tragic
I don't see how you can play again after this year, and for his sake, I hope he has a pretty good year because he missed a lot of time. That's a lot of time he's missed. But yeah, it's
Yeah, it's sad. It really is.
Yes. Absolutely. There's just no excuse for that kind of stupidity.
No, you got Uber, you got Lyft. It's very convenient now for you to get a ride.
and also
It is.
Colorado won. What do you think about
Very convenient. And
how they might do this year?
You still got to be careful out there, though, folks. Seriously. Driving drunk.
Of course.
It's not everybody is. Unfortunately, it is.
Yeah.
So there's always bad apples in every bunch. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
even if you're tipsy, you might be.
But
worse
yeah,
off than you
on
think,
a
so just
more
don't do it. positive
No, I'm talking
note,
about the
what do you
boulders.
think about
Yep.
your
How do you
jet
think
now
they're
that
gonna
the
do?
final cuts have been made for you to drive while
Well, yeah, well, the jury's still out there, man. I mean, you know, let's see what you can do on the field, and let's see if what Aaron Rodgers does after, you know, recovering from his injury. You know, is he going to get injured again and whatnot? You know, because I think it's going to be his last season either way.
Let's say a moment of silence for. Yeah, I agree. I don't see how
Yep.
you can play again after this year, and for his sake, I hope he has a pretty good year.
Yeah.
because
So
he missed a
yeah.
lot
So you
of-
got some. You
lot
think
of
Colorado's
time.
gonna do pretty good? What makes you
that's
feel
a
like
lot
you're
of
gonna do a
time he
lot
missed.
better?
But yeah, it's sad. It really is. You know.
Rutgers won their first game last night against Howard.
No, you got Uber, you got Lyft. You know, it's very convenient now for you to get a ride. And also, Colorado won. What do you think about convenient? And, you know, how they might do this?
Oh, yeah?
Still got to be careful out there, though, folks.
Colorado,
Not everybody is. Fortunately, it is.
Yeah.
So there's always bad apples in every bunch. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Colorado, yes. Colorado State.
Are there any other teams you hoping to do well in college football?
Positive. No, I'm talking about the boulders. Yep. How do you think they're going to do?
Okay.
I think the jury's still out there, man. You know, Alabama was
Penn State.
Ohio State was good. Georgia, I think, is going to rebound. So getting after, you know, recovering from his injury. You know, less than game last year. I think they whatnot for some. I think this year. All the top five.
Let's take a moment of silence for.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
it should
I
be a
don't
great
see
matchup.
how he can play again after this year, and for his sake, I hope he has a pretty good year.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so you got some. You think Colorado's going to do pretty good?
I do.
What makes you feel like you're going to do a lot better?
I usually say this.
Oh, yeah? What'd you say?
But now that we're on the subject, I bet
But
I was
yeah.
in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, it's sad.
the prophet speaks. The prophet speaks. My man knows what he's talking about, folks. He is the prophet, aka Lou. That's why Sam Scola Song's a big fan of yours. Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's right. We got to get Sam more often. That's right. But yeah, you know he is a big fan of yours. Yeah, that's the thing, you know. The fans you don't even know about. Yep. Oops.
Yeah. 11 years in this racket, now I got.
That's right. You got to start signing autographs now.
Yeah. Now, if only you had Rush to interview me.
I'm sorry. Say again.
If only you had Rush at the table, they never heard of me. It's a local show here in New York.
Okay, I was about to say. Well, keep.
It's only New York, New Jersey, and some parts of Connecticut.
Okay.
If you go down past, say, Hartford, you won't get it.
Yeah.
Because then you reach New England territory.
Okay. So it's not available by me at all then.
Unless you got satellite.
Yeah. So.
I tried.
Okay, so it's not available by me at all then.
But yeah, speaking.
Unless you got satellite.
Yeah.
I tried.
So, okay,
That's
so
right.
It's
That's
not
right.
available by me at all then. But yeah, speaking.
Unless you got satellite. Well, then you can stream it. Well, yeah, you can stream it probably.
Yeah.
I tried.
So,
I tried.
okay,
That's
so
right.
It's not available by me at all then. But yeah, speaking.
Yeah. So.
And we got the last one of the baseball season. It's going to come down to the last week. It's going to come down, I think, to the past few games between the Yankees
Well, it's coming down to the end. That's right.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
That's right. Not available by me at all then. But yeah, speaking of,
Break the record on most losses? Oh, wow.
All right.
yeah,
we
so
got the
that-
last
Definitely
one,
not a
the
great
baseball
record to
season.
have,
It's
that's
gonna
for
come down
sure.
to the last week. It's going to come down, I think, to the past few games between the Yankees and the Orioles.
well, it's coming down to the end. That's right.
Yep.
Profit speaks, folks. The profit speaks.
Oh, wait. I
That's
hate
right.
to say, but
Available
the
by
White
me at
Sox
all.
are going to break the record.
But yeah, speaking of, break the record on most losses.
Yep.
So, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
it's
so
going to happen.
So, what do you got cooking for tomorrow? Big time tomorrow.
I said
Sunday, that's right.
the Yankees.
That's right.
100 games before September 1st, and sure enough, they have.
well, it's coming down to the end. That's right.
Yep.
Profit speaks, folks. The profit speaks.
I hate
That's
to
right.
tell you, the White Sox are going to break the record.
Yeah, speaking of, break the record on most losses.
Yep.
So, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
It's going to happen.
So, what do you got cooking for tomorrow? Big time tomorrow.
No.
Sunday, that's right. That's right.
It'll be Sunday. So,
Well, it's coming down to the end. That's right. Profit speaks, folks. The profit speaks.
We'll do recap the Little League World Series. I'll try to
Break the record on most losses.
WBC World Cup.
Yeah, you're right.
Pairings
You're right.
for 2026. We got
So,
college
what do you got
football.
cooking for tomorrow? Big time tomorrow.
Our first NFL season pick.
Sunday, that's right. That's right.
There's actual games. So I got that.
That's right. Profit speaks, folks. The profit speaks.
Of course,
Break the record on most losses.
don't forget the
Yeah, you're right. You're right. What do you got cooking for? That's right, folks. He's going to be doing it from 4 to 6 p.m. Sunday, which actually works out pretty good for me because me and the family are going to the Rays game tomorrow. So during that time. So no excuses. 4 to 6 p.m. Sunday, folks. Sunday. That's right. And also he'll be on YouTube. So type in Enhanced Sports Show. And this is Eastern Standard Time Zone, 4 to 6 p.m. Sunday, 512-543-4662, 512-543-4662. 4 to 6 p.m. Sunday. Lou will be on the air. That's right. And on YouTube, Enhanced Sports Show.
Because remember, back in the old days, the phone was open.
So definitely, I appreciate you, Lou.
That's an old thing. It's an old thing for the 60s and 70s.
Appreciate you. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. I look forward to talking to you on Sunday.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I got a lot of calls because I wasn't going to do it on next Sunday because if I did a show during while the NFL games are on Sunday, forget it. I won't get anybody at all. Not a chance. It's different with college and Saturday, so they start all different times and go through whatever. One game starts, some games start at noon, some games start at 3, some games start at 7, or whatever. So I get a chance. Not a chance. Sunday during football season. It's different with college and Saturday, so they start all different times and go through
Yeah.
whatever. One game
So
some games start at noon, some
you
games
got a
start at
chance,
3,
folks.
Some games start at 7. Whatever. So
Sunday, tomorrow, he's going to be not on the air Saturday, Sunday,
it's
between
different
4
with
and 6
college
p.m.
Saturday,
That's
they start
right.
all different times and go
Make
through
sure you call in.
Yeah.
one game
So
some games start at noon, some
you
games
got a
start at
chance,
3,
folks.
some games start at 7, whatever. So
Sunday, tomorrow. Okay, I look forward to it. No problem. Have a good night. Thank you so much, Lou. Appreciate you. Talk to you Sunday. So, yes, folks, that's Lou, the Enhanced Sports Show. Make sure you tune in 4 to 6 p.m. Sunday. Usually it's Saturday, but it's not this Saturday. It has been moved to Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. And again, that phone number is 512-543-4662, 512-543-4662. Check that out. The Enhanced Sports Show. So, yes, folks, we got a lot to unpack here. And speaking of that, you know what? It is an opportunity right now that the summer is going to start to come down to the wire. It's going to go ahead and pick up with something really cool. Guess what? It's a great opportunity for you to go ahead and take advantage of a new home here in Florida or Texas. And with that opportunity, guess what? CTC ME Mortgage can help you. That's right. That man right there, Kurt McCrae, can help you. CTC ME Mortgage is one of our outstanding sponsors. Call or text Kurt McCrae at 346-527-7564. Again, it's 346-527-7564. You need to refinance your home, or if you're looking for a brand new home, that gentleman right there, Kurt McCrae, can help you. And if you want, you can also visit ctcmemortgage.com. He will make sure he gives you an outstanding deal. I saw he closed the deal just the other day. So now it's your turn for you to get your home to start building your equity. So without further ado, we're going to play another great Sam Solar song. That is the CTC ME Mortgage song right here on the Alford Sports Talk Show.
CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Make the call today. There's no extra fees to pay. You can take a loan to own a new home. CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Get a low interest rate, there's no need to wait. Finance a payment plan. Kurt McCrae is your man. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company.
CTCME Mortgage Company. That's right. Make sure you give Kurt McCrae a call or text at 346-527-7564. Again, that's 346-527-7564. Or feel free to visit their website, ctcmemortgage.com. My man's clearly closing a lot of deals, so make sure you go ahead and give him a call today. And that's want to thank CTCME Mortgage for being another one of our wonderful sponsors. That's awesome. So yes, we're going to go ahead and dive right into a lot to discuss, a lot to unpack. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the recent 53-man roster. And if you didn't make the cut, I know it was a tough day for a lot of people. Some of the cuts were actually made before Tuesday's deadline. And so leading up to it, you saw some great players getting cut. And as a person who covers the sport, it was actually hard for me to watch because you know that these guys put their heart and soul into making a team. You know, these are the facts. Somebody puts their heart and soul into making a team. and you know that at the end of the day, you are going, and not just you, but you and others are going to be sent home. And you can maybe make a practice squad and somebody gets hurt, but it's a long, tough day for you to get that call or be brought into the office that you did not make the team. So first and foremost, my heart goes out to the players who did not make it and make the 53-man roster. I can only imagine how tough that is. I know how competitive guys are, and I know how tough it is for you to, right before the season started, you think you're good and you're not. You know, so my heart goes out to that. But on the second hand, definitely there was some players that did make it. So first and foremost, I got to give them their props too. I got to give, Jake Bates. He we all knew he was gonna make the team. It wasn't a really surprise for me, and that's what I think. I think if you are a kicker, I think you have a very good chance to make the team. If you do, if you're a kicker and you do play, let's say for the UFL, I think you want to be in the UFL at that chance because I feel like you have a very, very good opportunity to make the team because of the exposure you get. And it's a specialized thing to be a kicker or punter. And if you do well, you get a lot of spotlight. That's why of all the players that did get taken, it didn't surprise me at all that Jake Bates made it. Not even one bit. In fact, I expected him to make the team. So the fact that he made the 53-man roster really was not a surprise to me at all. And in fact, to his credit and to the UFL, if you are a kicker, punter, you want to be right there playing for the UFL if you're not playing for the NFL. Having said that, let me go ahead and say congratulations to Jalen Redmond, defensive tackle for the Arlington Renegades, the UFL Arlington Renegades. Props to him. He made it too. So let me give both of those gentlemen a round of applause. Let me do that first and foremost. Yeah, so again, I don't think the sound came through. Let me just say it again. The NFL practice squad players that made it was Malik Foster, defensive end, Houston Texans; Kevin Harmon, wide receiver for Dallas Cowboys; Liam Fortnell, and that's offensive guard for the New England Patriots; Brandon Smith, wide receiver for New York Jets. And again, for the players that made the 53-man squad, that was Jalen Redmond, defensive tackle for the Arlington Renegades. He made the Vikings. And we have Jake Bates, kicker for the Detroit Lions. All of these gentlemen deserve another round of applause. Let me do that again. Yes, so that's outstanding. It really is. It really is truly outstanding. Now, that's all the great stuff. Now, I'm going to let you know a little bit about what I think is not so great on this scenario. One of the things that I've noticed, this is my observation, with the guys that are coming from the UFL to compete for the NFL, I noticed that a lot of them were getting signed kind of late in the game where they had missed some training camp and came in, which I think is a little bit unfair because the UFL schedule ends clearly before training camp starts. If you're interested in somebody, you have a chance to sign them and get them into camp early and get them into camp on time with everyone else. Anytime you show up to any event, let's say myself, I show up to an event to cover, there's a different feeling and a vibe, completely different vibe when you show up there early and you show up and you see everything unfolding as it happens versus you miss the first day or you miss the first hour and then you show up. So I do think the timing of some of the times that the UFL guys show up is not really, in my opinion, that fair. Another thing that I don't think is really fair is I don't think the guys that are from the UFL, the overwhelming majority, not every single one, but the overwhelming majority, I noticed that I don't feel like they're getting a fair shake at making the 53-man roster. No joke. You know, you throw a guy, Sal Cannella, 2 balls for 16 yards. How are you going to make a team with that type of volume? My man gets more balls thrown at him in a drive. Then on top of that, I felt as if some of the players that did compete did better than some of the guys that they kept on their roster. I mean, that was kind of clear to me. Like, okay, if we're competing for a job and I'm out playing somebody and it's not really that close, but yet you still give the job to the other person who I kind of beat out, did you really give me a fair opportunity to make the team? Well, that's really, really debatable. And more often than not, you're going to feel no. So I felt as if some of my UFL guys didn't really get, the positional players that is, a fair shake in cracking the code and making a 53-man roster. Out of all the players taken, we have 2 players who actually made the roster, one of them being a kicker, and 4 men making the NFL practice squad. So we had 77, I believe the final number was, that was from UFL to the NFL, got signed into a camp. So my question would be, is this just a PR stunt, the UFL and NFL, or is this really a legitimate opportunity that somebody from UFL is getting? Bringing somebody to camp, but you really want to play somebody else is not really a good opportunity. You know, because no matter what that player does, you're not really paying him much attention. You're really considering the other person. I felt, you know, let's look at it. I could give specific examples, but I'm not going to at this point in time. I will save that for another conversation, another day. But I felt like some of the guys in UFL balled out during training camp and should have been on that roster. I'm going to talk more about the subject a bit more, but we're going to put that aside for now. And yes, so if you didn't make the roster, you can't give up on your dream that easy. You have to keep fighting. You know, you have to keep going forward. You just can't let it deter you. Because here in the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show, I'm going to make sure that that is one of the things I look into is, are my guys from UFL getting a fair shake at making the roster? We will see. I'm not saying all of them should have been signed, but it's really, with the level of talent that I've watched and seen, it's hard for me to accept that there's that many more players better than them making the roster, and my guys are not. We'll see. So, having said that, we're going to go ahead and switch gears a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and talk about college football in just a moment. But hey, if you need to go ahead and take advantage of travel, especially now with college football starting up, NFL season going to start. It's starting next week. Make sure you put your fantasy football team together real quick. Guess what? You need to travel. We have a solution for you, and that is none other than Pushpin Adventures. That's right. Pushpin Adventures can help you. We want to thank Pushpin Adventures for being one of our outstanding sponsors. But Pushpin Adventures can help you do destination weddings. They also can help you do international travel, domestic travel, cruises, going to Costa Rica, going to any destination of your choice. They can help you. Paris, we just had Olympics there. Destination weddings, Pushpin Adventure can help you. Group travel, corporate travel. That's right. Visit pushpinadventures.com/virgin, or you can go ahead and give Monique a call right there. Give Monique a call. She'll take care of you. She'll make sure you get an outstanding deal, life-changing trip. Phone number is 626-838-1006. Again, Monique is 626-838-1006. We're going to play another great Sam Scola song for you right now, and that is the Pushpin Adventure song here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Let's go.
Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Book a trip with Pushpin Adventures. Travel on a cruise with Pushpin Adventures. Take a vacation with Pushpin Adventures. Tour around the world with Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Make a reservation with Pushpin Adventures. The best value deal with Pushpin Adventures. Plan a getaway with Pushpin Adventures. Escaping today with Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures.
Pushpin Adventures. Definitely give them a call. Make that dream a reality. Give them Monique a call at 626-838-1006. Again, at 626-838-1006. Or feel free to go ahead and visit pushpinadventures.com, and they're going to make sure they take wonderful care of you there at pushpinadventures.com/virgin if you want to check out more about that great cruise that you just saw. So wonderful, wonderful sponsor. Thank you so much, Pushpin Adventures. Really dramatically, we appreciate you. And yes, so what we're going to do now is talk a little bit about college football. So, the question is, it's the start of college football. Colorado did win game 1 season opener. Let's go ahead and give them a round of applause for that. Hey, a win is a win is a win, right? That's right. Got the first win underneath their belt. So they're doing wonderful, and that's awesome. They got their first win. It always makes the day. It starts off great when you win the first game. I know that it wasn't a top one team, but hey, a win is a win, and that's what Colorado needs to do. They need to try to make sure they shore up, even if it's not the number one teams or the top teams. You got to take advantage of the teams that you should win on your schedule. So, a great start. I'm going to give my thoughts on Coach Prime and the media, and I'll say it like this. I would have to agree with what some of the people said, that they were disappointed in the way Coach Prime handled the situation. I would have to agree with that. After looking at all the evidence, everything that was presented, hey, a couple weeks ago, Coach Prime was kind of chirping at one reporter. Then he bans another reporter. Look, you can't be so thin-skinned when it comes to dealing with the media. The thing about it is they're still giving you coverage, even if it's not positive as far as Coach Prime is concerned. The fact that you are getting media coverage is a positive thing overall. And the reason why I was a little bit disappointed, because Coach Prime is a believer. One of the things they tell you, one of the first things they tell you in the book is man will disappoint you. And also on top of it, it lets you know clearly that you're going to get haters. It doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter how famous you are. It doesn't matter how giving you are, how thoughtful you are, how nice you are. At the end of the day, it is a proven fact that people are going to hate. And usually those reasons are more of a reason for people to hate on you, because you have more than what they have. And it's nothing that you have done directly a lot of times to hurt someone. But usually people who are haters, let me break this down for you, are usually people who are unhappy with themselves. They are unhappy with themselves. And on top of it, they are insecure themselves. So hence, instead of working hard to improve their situation, they get bitter, they get angry, and they get upset and jealous. They will try to tear down somebody else. They look at who they feel is successful, who is doing positive things. They'll try to tear them down so that they can feel better about themselves being where they're at. That's what a hater does, and that's what they thrive at. Coach Prime doesn't need to get caught up into this. Okay, if the person's taking personal shots, saying you're false prophet and all that nonsense, you got to ignore it. That's just the end of the day. The best weapon against a hater is just to block it out and ignore it, because then they feel even worse. They're like, oh man, I'm dissing this person, taking personal shots, and they're not even responding to it. So it really minimizes them even more, because like, oh man, I can't even be a hater and get a response out of it. You got to let that stuff go, because at the end of the day, it's just negative energy, negative distraction. For the last week and a half, this was the story about having thin skin, the program making demands. And yeah, it did look kind of small, like from Coach Prime. All you need to do to turn things around and kind of block out the noise is keep doing what you did the other day, and that's win games. That's it. Now it's year two. The criticism is going to be a bit more, because now they've already seen you for a season, and the team underperformed. You started off great, and then you lost the last. I could be wrong. I believe it was last seven. Could be off on that. I believe it was 7 or 8. I don't have that number in front of me, but the point is, it started off great, and then it went off the rails real fast, and then it never recuperated where you won other games. This year, you got to make sure you continue to keep that stride of winning. That'll block out all the noise. And yeah, you can't be so thin skinned when somebody says something negative. It is showing a pattern of behavior as far as Coach Prime, that he doesn't like it when people say stuff negatively through the media. Not everybody's going to love you. Not everybody's going to see your worth. Not everybody's going to appreciate what you do. Again, all of this is in the good book. So just ignore it. Keep going forward. You remember, you have a higher purpose. Now, I will say this much, though, as far as the football part of the game. Shador and Travis was balled out. I mean, Travis made Shador look like he got him all those yards after catch, all those great yards. I mean, he was just balling out. They couldn't stop him. I will submit, though, that 1-2 punch Shador to Travis Hunter isn't going to be a formula that's going to get you win after win after win. Meaning it worked this game, but believe me and you, it's not going to work every game. You're going to have to find help from other ways on the Colorado Boulders. Because if you don't, this season could turn out like last season. People are going to adjust and they're going to know that, hey, your number one receiver is Travis Hunter. We're going to make it difficult for you to get the ball to him. You're going to have to get it to someone else. They're also going to bring more pressure on Shador. It can start to unravel pretty quickly. So basically, don't just rely on Shador to Travis. You got to have other options. Again, they were sensational, the two of them. Big win, and congratulations. That's what you also need to do. Keep winning the games you're supposed to win, and then it'll take care of itself. So I had the honor this past week of covering some outstanding events. That was the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. It was awesome. You know, there was at the event there was supposed to be 8 inductees, but we had half 4. But guess what? The great thing is October 15 and 16 is going to be an outstanding event. They're going to have the VIP reception and kind of like the party. And then the next day, they will have the official Hall of Fame induction. Expect Allen Alford Sports Talk Show to be there and covering that event for both days. I will make sure that I do that for you guys. Let me run down and give you all of the Hall of Famers and the inductees here. Let me pull up the list. And yeah, it was awesome to cover that event in Orlando and to definitely have such a great time. Now, the ones that were there and present, let me talk to them about them first. That was Mr. William Barnum Floyd, former NFL running back. And he was the last fullback, that first round draft pick that was ever drafted in the first round as a fullback. He was the very last one, drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. Also, won a Super Bowl as well, Super Bowl champion and a national champion. Outstanding. That's wonderful. Let me give him a round of applause. That's fantastic. So, national champion as well as Super Bowl champion. That's great. And then we have Mr. Scott Hutchinson, former defensive end for the Buffalo Bills and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Interesting fact is that Mr. Hutchinson played with the Bucs creamsicle uniforms, which is outstanding. And now that is something that you see quite often now. It's always a great thing when they bring back the creamsicles, but times have changed now. You only get the creamsicles on throwback days, but my man Scott Hutchinson played with it throughout his playing year when he did play for the Bucs, that is. So, round of applause goes out to Mr. Hutchinson as well. All right, so next is we tap into the ladies. We have Miss Jan Stevenson, World Golf Hall of Famer, which is fantastic. She's from Australia, came here to Florida. She talked about how great it is to live in Florida because it's kind of like Australia, but you're here in the U.S. and you get to play year round. So she's a Hall of Famer. And then, we give her a round of applause too. And rounding out the list, we have Miss Linda Gooch, head cheerleading coach for the UCF Knights, doing her big thing. She had a chance to tell us about all of the great events she partakes in, even to this day. She talked about how times have changed. She's outstanding. Let me give her a round of applause as well. Yes, and that was the 4 of the 8 that was in attendance, but the ones that were not in attendance, who's also going to be inducted on October 15th and 16th, is Ashlyn Harris for soccer, Mike Holloway, track and field coach. We have also Chris Patrick, athletic trainer, and rounding out the list is a familiar name to probably everybody, and that is none other than former great basketball player Tracy McGrady. So he's going to be in the house too. It's going to be outstanding achievement for all of them. It's going to be outstanding events for those 2 days. Can't wait. Let me give them all a round of applause for their accomplishment. Yeah, that was awesome. So I got a chance to cover that event, and that was really, really awesome. And another great thing I was able to do this week, for those who don't know, I was able to have, an outstanding guest, Jerry Ferrara. That's right. Jerry Ferrara came on the show this week. And let me just say this before I forget. For my 3 sponsors, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, that is CTC ME Mortgage, as well as Pushpin Adventures. Typically, I would incorporate a little bit of promotion for the videos for those sponsors. But the thing is, that interview was yesterday, which was Thursday, with me and Jerry Ferrara. The new show is premiering a week from Thursday, which is going to be, I'm losing sight of the time, September 5th. Let me just double check. Yes, it premieres September 5th, a week from today. So that's what made it a time crunch. I wouldn't have had enough time to get the video kind of ready before the 5th. I may or may not. It would have been pushing it close. And at that point, we just decided to just go ahead and push it out. Plus, he was doing some live interviews in that same day that, I got heard from that when I was setting up this interview, that he was doing some live interviews. So I just figured just put it out right away. It wasn't live, but I got it out as quickly as I could. But yeah, the show premieres. Let me show it to you guys. It's called Throwbacks with Matt Leinhart and Jerry Ferrara. It premieres Thursday, September 5th. They drop a new show every Thursday. And that is going to be Jerry, who was right there on the left with the suit. He premiered, and for those who don't know, he was Turtle in Entourage, as well as Joe Proctor in Power, which is, 2 different type of, my man's multidimensional. It's 2 different. One is comedian type actor. The other one is a serious role. So that is Jerry Ferrara. Really appreciate him coming by. And his co-host, for those who don't know, is the man to the right. And Matt Leinhart, won a Heisman Trophy and a national championship there in college. The man to the left of him is Reggie Bush, who also won a Heisman. So there's 2 Heisman winners right there. And that is a picture of Matt Leinhart. And if you haven't done so already, as I said this during the interview, make sure you guys watch that 30 for 30 Trojan War. If you haven't, it's outstanding. You can learn a lot about USC and Matt Leinhart, or Lionheart, as what his teammates would call him. You will see that there in that documentary, Trojan War. So, Throwbacks. Let me show that picture one more time. Premieres with Jerry Ferrara and Matt Leinhart this Thursday, September 5th. So check it out. They're going to bring on some great guests. He told me he's going to bring on the gentleman to the right, who he acted with, people who he met throughout his career. Same with Matt. football. It's going to be a nice little, nice little give and take because it's going to be about acting, their experiences, sports, football, basketball. Jerry is more of a basketball fanatic, to say basketball fanatic. He went to a couple of Knicks games, so you're going to get some basketball from football, a lot of cool things. Check it out, Throwbacks. Great thing about Jerry, he's from my hometown, Brooklyn, New York. So he's from Bensonhurst. I'm from Brooklyn. And they're both in Brooklyn, but one is a different part. He's from Bensonhurst. I'm from Canarsie. It's still Brooklyn, all Brooklyn. And it's an outstanding interview. Make sure you guys check it out if you haven't already. But that was awesome that I had a really cool week. Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Got to interview Jerry Ferrara. And now another great thing that happened for the Allen Alford Sports Talk show is we are verified now on Facebook. I tried to get that done a while ago. Wasn't in the cards. Lo and behold, things came around. We are verified. So if you check in the Allen Alford Sports Talk show, if you don't see a check mark there, then it's somebody who's posing and want to be the Allen Alford Sports Talk show. We are fully verified on Instagram, Facebook. Yep, Instagram and Facebook. So if you definitely see the Allen Alford Sports Talk show with the check mark, that is our show. So we're going to bring you a lot of great things here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk show. And I really want to thank you guys because you make this all possible. Without your assistance, without your support, comments, feedback, it gives a motivation to keep going forward. And it is just so flattering to have you guys as a great audience. Really appreciate you. And I did want to say next week I have a surprise for you. I won't let you know what that is just yet, but make sure you tune in. When I get closer to next Friday, I will let you know more about that. So tomorrow, me and the family are going to go to a Rays game, and we're going to be in the VIP suite, which is awesome. All you can eat food. I just love it. The kids love it. Get a chance to eat the food. And the great thing where the VIP suite is, you get great seats. You can see the stadium. You can see everything great. And a ball is pretty much out of arm's way to hit you too. I mean, a ball could technically hit you where you're at, but it's going to be a very, very difficult and pretty low, I would say, percentage in order for you to get hit. So you don't have to worry about you getting your food so much and you getting hit. That's going to be awesome. Always enjoy that VIP from the Rays. And speaking of VIP, I'm going to talk more about the Armando Galarraga and the Joey Joyce, the umpire, who, for those who don't know, Armando Galarraga was one out away from a perfect game. Joey Joyce, who's a referee, called the runner coming down the line safe, but it clearly, from without even using instant replay, from everybody who saw it, could clearly see the man was out. Replay just made it even worse and showed it glaringly. This was right before, the season before, instant replay came into effect. And the reason why this is a story now is that a lot of people at this point are trying to get it overturned, where Armando Galarraga gets at least credit for the perfect game. There's a lot more. I'm going to talk about this in a bit more. I'm going to unpack that whole saga. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and play another great Sam Scola song. For those who don't know, Sam Scola is the one who wrote all of the songs you hear tonight. So you can hear these same tunes again. Thank you, Sam Scola Songs and his beautiful wife, Mary. All these great songs are also available on YouTube and Spotify. I want to thank Sam Scola for all his great music. And in fact, let me let you know this too. You want to make sure you sign that great artist. Make sure you go ahead and give Sam Scola an opportunity. There he is. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. We're going to play another song. We'll take a little break here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. I'll talk about the Armando Galarraga, Joy Joyce saga. Give you my thoughts on that and a lot more. But we're going to do a little break, play a Sam Scola song. It's going to be awesome. So let me go ahead and let you guys hear that song. Yep. And let's let's go here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Let me play that for you right now. That's another sports song right there, sports theme song by Sam Scola Songs. Appreciate you. So yes, with the Armando Galarraga and Joy Joyce game, Armando Galarraga did not get a perfect game because Joy Joyce called the runner safe. He did not overturn the play, his call. He really felt in his eyes he made the right call. It was clear though, even before watching replay, and even worse when he did watch replay, that he did not get the call right. The runner was clearly out. Even the guy who ran said he was out. So my thoughts on this was this. At the time, Armando Galarraga said now that he was in shock. That's the reason why he didn't kind of make a big scene about this play. The twist that people put on it was Armando Galarraga was trying to be a class act and just kind of just went with the flow, just took it on the chin and accepted his fate, which wasn't the fact that he got kind of robbed of a perfect game. You know, Miguel Cabrera didn't let him hear it, and his teammates let him hear it, but Armando Galarraga, who's actually threw the near perfect game, didn't. Now that years have gone by, he said that he wasn't being a nice guy, why he didn't say anything, but he was in a state of shock. I think the more, my opinion on this is, the more that people nowadays kind of get angry about it and bitter about it, including Armando Galarraga, it makes it them, meaning Armando Galarraga, look worse. Yes, Joy Joyce blew the call, but in everybody's eyes who watched that game, watched that play, felt as if Armando Galarraga got a perfect game. It may not be in the record books, it may not be checked off as a perfect game, but everybody who played, who watched that game, felt, and to this day, even more so, that Armando Galarraga threw a perfect game. He didn't get credit for it. He got a raw deal at this. Hey, in life, this sometimes happen. You don't get the breaks. It's unfortunate, but to kind of keep trying to fight it and try to get it reversed at this point, that was the kind of the end of the era. Meaning, that was the end of judgment calls for the most part from Major League Baseball. That was the human element of Major League Baseball up until that point. And that was kind of the punctuation point of, if it's close, we're going to go to replay. So I say, let it stand the way it is. Let history be the way it is. In my eyes, in Armando Galarraga's eyes, and even people played and watched, they all felt as if it was a perfect game. Yes, you may not get the cloud of it being a check, but you got a perfect game that day. It was clear. No matter whether Joy Joyce, in which he admits he missed a call, it's over now. Just let it go. Let people felt as if it was a good moment. Armando Galarraga didn't act like most people would have. Would have probably got himself thrown out before he finished the game, but he didn't. He finished the game with, one extra batter from a perfect game. So everybody felt as if it was a perfect game. So just let bygones be bygones. Just let it go. You know, that's it. You threw a perfect game as far as most people are concerned, and sometimes you just gotta let things go as it is, and it's a part of history. It's a part of history as far as people won't forget it. If just think of it like this: if Joy Joyce actually did get the call right, we would have already forgotten that Armando Galarraga threw that perfect game because nobody would have been talking about it. Been no controversy. Sometimes when there is a little bit of controversy, you know what? It kind of fuels people to talk about it, the story about it, the injustice. So let it go. And people, because there's been players this year and even last year that threw perfect games, and you forget because it's perfect, it happens, there's nothing, no controversy. This had some controversy, you remember. So it's not a bad thing. That's part of baseball. That's the quirky part about baseball is that it has a human element to it, and just like, another great example I can give you to the Armando Galarraga is, let me just go ahead and pull this up here. Okay. Yes, so yes, and that actually fuels what makes baseball kind of cool is that it has that story, that human element to it, sometimes on the good side and a bad side. One great example of this is Honus Wagner. Honus Wagner, it's not clear as to what it is. Most people want to believe the good side of the story rather than the other flip side of the story. Well, Honus Wagner basically, he did have other sponsors, but for whatever reason, this tobacco company wanted to put his baseball card in a pack of basically cigarettes, Tabasco. And what the story is that either two parts could have been. It could have been that Honus Wagner did not want his, name, engine, likeness, and this card in this pack with tobacco. He didn't feel as if kids needed to buy that in order to get his card. There's the other side of the story is they just didn't pay him enough. And because they didn't pay him enough, he didn't want his card in this set. So it's not, some people want to believe A and some people want to believe B, but at this juncture, this is going back to let's see, 1909, 1911. It's undetermined which way it really is. Hey, was it you didn't want your card in this pack of tobacco because kids had to buy tobacco to get your card, and that's really noble of you? Or B, they didn't pay you enough for you to go ahead and kind of like endorse your card to be in this pack? Or it could have been a combination of both. Hey,
I didn't like the fact that the kids had to get tobacco to get my card, and also they were shortchanging me. It could be A, B, or a combination of the two. It's undetermined. So that story. So lo and behold, the tobacco company, because of Honus Wagner being upset about it, stopped production. But by the time they stopped production, there was about 50 cards that were made and kind of sent out already. Like the shipment was out. That baseball card, 1909, 1911, it was produced because now you cannot complete the set without that card. And that card, they only made about 50 of them that was released, and it's extremely rare. Not only was it rare for you to get one of the 50, this is 1909, 1911. So that's over 100 years ago. You know, that predates the Titanic. So it is the most expensive baseball card. So because of the story, and that's the great thing about baseball is that it may have been injustice with Armando Galarraga and Joy Joyce, but because of that injustice and because of what happened and all the details, guess what? It's a story and we're still talking about it. So I say just let it be. In my view, Armando Galarraga on that day threw a perfect game. He didn't get the credit for it. And of course, we know the rest. He threw a perfect game. So that's the quirky thing about baseball. And that's going to be one of the cool things about baseball now is that story can still go on. Now you have instant replay. It's very clear and concise. So let's think about that, and technology advanced to the point and the rules in there to the point where now there is no controversy, which is kind of cool. But the flip side of that is you miss out on those stories. The what if, the what if stories. So, yes, I have a lot more to talk about, a lot more to unpack. We're going to talk some boxing. Folks. We're going to talk about the Floyd Mayweather decision, the Floyd Mayweather exhibition against John Gotti III. I would say before I go into what Floyd did in the second round and the whole fight, my whole thing is, okay, the undercard on this fight was pretty good. I'll give it a 7.5, 8. So it did have some very good undercard action. I'm just surprised that why people pay for these Floyd Mayweather exhibitions. This is not real boxing. It's just kind of like entertainment and playing around the way I look at it. It's not real boxing. I don't know why there's an interest in this. I really don't. I mean, yes, it was in Mexico. I get it. Probably get that much type of events like this too often overseas, but I just don't understand it. I really don't. The fight to me was far from a professional fight. For those who don't know, in the second round, the referee basically warned Floyd, and it almost seemed like he was going to take a point away from Floyd for hitting on the back of the head. I'll say, let me stop right there. Floyd Mayweather is a lot of things, but he is not a dirty puncher where he's going to purposely hit you in the back of your head to hurt, harm you. That's not his style. He's never done that his entire boxing career. The referee was wrong on that because John Gotti was very inexperienced and he just kept putting his head down. Anytime a punch would come, that would be his defense, put his head down. The issue with that is a lot of time when you keep putting your head down as your defense and you move, you put yourself in the flight of someone hitting you in the back of your head. He's not really trying to hit you in the back. He's cuffing you, but you put your head down so it looks like he's hitting you in the back of the head when he's not. John Gotti's defense was terrible, and he just kept putting his head down, kneeling, and then, when you put your head down, yes, you might get hit in the back of your head because you're moving, he's throwing a punch, and you keep putting your head down, yes, you're going to get hit. So the ref should have just said, hey, be careful. I don't really think he should even given him a warning he could have just said to the guy, you keep putting your head down. And that was another thing why this fight was so atrocious. is that John Gotti III kept complaining after every single punch in his face. Dude, you're fighting Floyd Mayweather. The guy's been boxing his entire life. He's come from a generation of boxing. Okay, you think you're gonna fight him and not get hit in the face a few times? Like, come on, bro. Why are you gonna go ahead and take this money and get embarrassed yourself? Every single punch, John Gotti got hit in the face. He's complaining to the ref. I mean, how unprofessional and how whack is that? You're getting hit in the face all day long because you have crappy defense, and you're complaining at the ref after every time you get a punch in the face. That was just so horrible to watch. And then he fired the referee. Now, it may have seemed like a small move, which I didn't even know you could fire a ref in the middle of a fight, even with it being an exhibition. But it wasn't a good look on Floyd in a way, because it's like, okay, if you have that power to just fire a referee second round of fight because he was giving you some lip about hitting him from the back of the head, maybe he was going to deduct the point. I don't know. It was so much, jaw jacking, so I don't know what the end result was going to be. It was kind of convoluted. But even if it was or wasn't, the fact that you have that much power over the guys who are officiating the fight wasn't a good look, in my opinion, at all. Hey, let's look at the facts. You fought in Vegas. You always fought in Vegas, too. You didn't ever go and fight in the other person's domain, or at least midway, or at least a neutral site. You fought in your hometown. And you always had the referee of somebody you wanted to be the referee. Not a good look. And again, you're going to tell me you didn't have something to do with the refs and the judges kind of favoring you to win these fights? First of all, the ref is somebody you were cool with and obviously was approved by you. Then the judges, they had to be somewhat on the payroll because, hey, you're fighting your hometown. You're controlling too much of the narrative. To me, you could fire someone that quick and then you had a replacement come in. Didn't even have to change clothes. It's not even say like you had a little bit of delay where you had to get somebody in the ring. No, he just hopped in the ring. It wasn't a good look as far as I was concerned, as far as Mayweather and his role in him being undefeated. Yes, you may have gotten those wins legitimately, but I just think that wasn't a good look. You could just fire a ref, get another one in. I know it's an exhibition, but it looked too smooth and too planned out, So that's what I was even saying, that when Floyd does these exhibitions, understand it's not just money you're getting and there's something else you're losing. Anytime it's an opportunity cost. Yes, you're getting money for these exhibitions, but the opportunity cost is you're putting your legacy and what people think of you as being great. Every time you go to these type of fights and these things happen, it diminishes. Because I was like, you could just fire a referee, which I've never seen before, and most people have never seen it, in the second round because you disagreed with the call, but yet your whole boxing career you fought only in Vegas, and you had the referee who you were cool with, and all the judges always seem to be on your side. You're going to tell me you didn't talk to the judges too? It just looks shady. It looks shady. He brought up more questions than anything. Like, okay, that's what I would be like. Okay, where is the fairness in a fight? Like, I already know these things were kind of slanted against the person you're fighting against, but it's almost seemed like you are paying for your wins. So I'll leave it as that. From the outside perspective, it didn't look good. Fight was kind of whack. This guy, John Gotti, just kept on complaining after every single punch in his face. It almost felt like, to me, like they should have just left it alone after that one fight, because it made John Gotti the third, as well as Mayweather, look even worse. The fact that they did this again. It really did. Mayweather on a, what are we doing here? You got that much power? And on John Gotti, like, okay, you're going to complain after every single punch in your face? Dude, you were horrible. You had no defense. You're a bigger complainer. Like, you did not come across as a guy that was credible in any regards. Yes, I do think Jake Paul would give a better fight by a mile. It wasn't even close. Like you got outclassed. You're ducking your head, then complaining because you're getting hit in the back of your head. Then you get complaining, you get hit in the front in your face. Nothing worse than a complainer in sports. Nothing worse than that. And I'll say this much, folks. I think this is the reason why Kenny Lofton got X'd off that Hall of Fame ballot like that. The reason why is because the man used to complain after every single strike. Every single strike. The ball's right down the middle of the plate. He's complaining to the referee. He was like annoying. Like, come on, man. Stop complaining. Nothing worse than a complaining athlete. All day, every day. Nothing worse. It makes them look terrible and it makes the sport looks bad because all you're doing is jaw jacking and complaining. That was John Gotti the third. Man should have just not even done the rematch at that point. But it was terrible to watch. At least that fight. But they did have Victor Ortiz, a fight before. Every time I think about Victor Ortiz, I think about that Floyd Mayweather fight. And I feel as if Victor Ortiz, in my opinion, blew the biggest opportunity of his life. He was in a ring with Floyd Money Mayweather. And Floyd was doing really good in the beginning of the fight. But guess what? Even if you put that headbutt aside, Victor Ortiz started to show some strides in his fight. He was starting to make a little bit of a comeback in this fight. And I'm not going to go so far and say I think Victor Ortiz would have won the fight against Floyd, but I think he would have made this fight very competitive. And also, he would have made it so that Floyd would have known he had a fight with him the next day. But instead, Floyd, he didn't technically cheat, but he didn't do the gentlemanly thing. And he saw an opportunity to get kind of a sneaky win, and he took it. He took it. Victor Ortiz, okay, you headbutted him, you apologized, you dapped it up, you hugged it up. That's it. Let's get to the fight now. Move on. But he wanted to keep on saying, show his empathy and being sorry. And again, one of the rules they teach in boxing, protect yourself at all times. And that hurt Victor Ortiz because that was the only opportunity he got. And I would have really loved to see what would have happened if Victor Ortiz would have kept going on. Because Victor Ortiz at that time was definitely a real deal fighter. And this was one of those few fights that Floyd actually had somebody who was a viable competitor. And his competitor, Floyd saw a cheap opportunity to get a sneaky type win, and he took it. He didn't technically cheat, but he found a little bit of way, I would say Bush League way to win a fight, and he took it. On Victor's side, man, once you hugged it up, dapped it up, that's it. It's over now. Continue to go ahead and fight. He blew the biggest opportunity of his life because if anything, if he did really well in this fight, again, I couldn't say he would win this fight because Floyd still is more skilled than Victor, but he could have made it very, very competitive, and it may have led to him maybe getting a rematch with Floyd, another payday, another big fight, and much more. But instead, after this fight, his career went downhill after then because he became like a has-been or a guy that should have, could have, would have. So that's what I think about Victor Ortiz when I see him. So those are my thoughts on that Victor Ortiz Mayweather fight. Floyd didn't technically cheat, but he found a sneaky way to win a fight, and he took advantage of it. And we don't do sneaky stuff here at the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. We give you guys great content. We're going to always continue to do that. Really appreciate you guys. Want to thank all of our callers. Want to thank my man Lou for calling in. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for everybody that appeared on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show, this week. Got more interviews and more content coming around for you guys. You got to stay connected. Make sure you do that. Make sure you guys continue to stay connected and follow us here on Instagram, Allen Alford _ Twitter, or I should change that to X, Allen Alford. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so to Allen Alford. And also make sure you definitely follow us on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show on Facebook. Just type in Alan Alford Sports Talk Show and you will see it. And now it has the blue check mark, so you know it is the real deal, Holyfield. So Facebook, there it is. Facebook at Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. So that's going to be awesome. And make sure you go check it out there. Really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And thank you to all our sponsors. Let me go ahead and thank you, Pushman Adventures, show sponsor. Thank you, CTC ME Mortgage. And that brings us to Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Make sure you guys, so let me make sure I get it in frame here. Make sure you guys check out Chef G's right here. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Definitely check out Chef G's right here at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Or you can visit them at flbbqsauce.com. flbbqsauce.com. So we're going to end the show with the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song by Sam Scola Songs. Want to thank Sam Scola Songs. Really thank him for all that he does here for the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Let me go ahead and let you guys remind you, you can listen to all these songs right there, are available on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you, Sam Scola Songs and his wife, Mary. And I'll leave you with his email, singalongwithsam@gmail.com. So without further ado, we're going to play the Sam Scola song, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Let's go.
Comes in four varieties. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Florida gold honey mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken and steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Definitely don't forget to visit Chef G's right there at 301 South 22nd Street. Again, that's 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. If you can't come down to Tampa, make sure you visit them at flbbqsauce.com. Then it's flbbqsauce.com. Don't forget this delicious sauce right here. There you go. It's delicious. Classic honey mustard, fusion, and heat wave. Can't go wrong. He has also Florida sand and rub. Gonna be eating breakfast with sand with Chef G's in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be awesome. So without further ado, want to thank you guys again for being great supporters of the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. You guys are fantastic. Definitely thank you again for watching another great episode of the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. We're going to close the show with another Sam Scola song. It's the end of the show song. So be blessed, be well, take care of yourself. And until we meet again, take care for now. Be blessed.